This whole week is going to be short podcasts, and they're going to sound like this. I'm under a comforter recording this because I'm on a family vacation. I'm staying in a house with my brothers, their families, my mom, and everybody can hear everything in this house. And I don't want people to hear me podcasting. It's embarrassing. I think they know I have a podcast, but I hope they don't listen to it. I'm in South Carolina, and I just found out an interesting law here. If you die, one of your siblings has to take your job. It's required by law. So Lindsey Graham's sister had to take his Senate seat, or she would have gone to jail. I'm going to get to the news now, real quick. Misuse of crowd control weapons on ICE protesters led to blindings and traumatic brain injuries, report finds. I had to stop recording for a second. I had to get out from under the comforter. That's unsustainable. I don't know how I did that yesterday. But this story is like no surprise. I mean, there's a report. That's nice. There's a report. Nothing's going to be done about the report. And ICE doesn't care. I think they kind of enjoy the blindings and the traumatic brain injuries. Just like, well, they've also murdered people. And I don't think they have problems with that. If you're out protesting, you got to wear goggles. You got to wear a helmet. You got to wear like paintball gear. Whoever sells paintball gear should be marketing to protesters. You also have to worry about getting hauled off to one of their detention centers or being shot. I mean, if I talk about ICE for too long, I really will start yelling. And then, my nieces and nephew will hear me yelling fuck ICE over and over again. So I'm going to move on to the next story. Lake Powell reaching critically low elevation levels, nearing dead power pool, experts say. This is why the Republicans are against alternative energy, using hydropower. We're going to run out of water. We're not conserving it. That would be woke to conserve water. You start conserving water, then you're recycling, and the next thing you know, the United States is being ruled by Zoran, and public schools are making all the children homosexuals. So Lake Powell reaching critically low levels is actually a tribute to freedom in the United States of America. Meta uses AI to target workers with medical conditions for layoffs, lawsuit claims. It used to be somebody's job to go through medical records to find people to lay off, and now that job has been taken by AI. It's very sad. Imagine you have that job and you love the job. You're going through people's medical records, you're like, oh, this person's sickly, let's get rid of them. And then one day your boss says, we don't need you anymore. And then you find out your boss was a chatbot the entire time. Man shot and killed by ICE in Maine was not the target of warrant, Senator Angus King says. It's hard to keep up here because ICE in my opinion, murdered 2 people in Maine this week. So is this the guy they murdered in front, allegedly? I'll stop saying murdered. Forget everything I just said about murder. That's stricken from the record. I didn't mean it. It was satire. It was a joke. There was 2 people in Maine that I know of who were shot and killed by ICE. One of them was shot and killed in front of his wife and child. I think that's who this story is referring to. And so he was not the subject of a warrant. He was pulled over, and I think he was just trying to drive away. So they shot and killed him. There's a lot of things I'd love to say right now. I want to release. I want to yell. But that doesn't help anything. I don't know what helps something here. Nothing really helps the people who were killed. It would be great if there was some eventual justice, but I'm not holding out too much hope for that. I'm being a real downer. Things will get better eventually. I mean, in a couple of generations or something like that, if there's still a world left. Hungary passes constitutional amendment to remove Orban-era president. You see, Hungary had an autocratic dictator, and now they're undoing a lot of that. They did turn away that gay cruise ship like last week, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But they also had a gay pride parade not that long ago, too, so I don't know what's going on there. But this is good news. Fed turns over evidence in Renee Good and Alex Preddy killings to Minnesota after months of delay. A lot of ICE in the headlines today. I wonder if the evidence they turned over was complete and shows there was no reason to shoot and kill these 2 people. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm going to wait to see what the evidence says. But also, fuck ICE. Another ICE headline after that one. Mexico to file criminal complaints over migrants killed by ICE in U.S. So I guess there would be criminal complaints filed in Mexico. So what we have to do is get a bunch of ICE agents to go to the border, right, but paint a fake border line further out. So they think they're still in the United States, but they're actually in Mexico. Then the Mexican police can arrest them. And I would hope, for the sake of the ICE officers, that they don't try to resist arrest. They respect the authority of the Mexican police. I don't know how rough those guys can get. U.S. outbreak of parasite causing watery diarrhea rises to more than 2,800 cases. You gotta wash your leafy greens because there's no more FDA inspections of food plants. They're able to self-inspect. And guess what they find? Nothing wrong, ever. So now any raw produce is just riddled with parasites. And everybody's got diarrhea. And I think it's worse in Michigan for some reason. We might need to avoid raw vegetables and produce until there's like a competent administration and a real FDA. So cook all your vegetables and fruit. You can only eat fruit and pies now. So that's good news. Judge voids Donald Trump's improper $1.8 billion IRS settlement that gave him immunity from tax audits. Yeah, that settlement was fucking insane. But does this mean now it's going to go to the Supreme Court? Because anytime Trump has a problem with somebody, he goes to the Supreme Court. And most of the time they rule with them. And if they don't, he says, oh, well, they're wrong. How about doing it again? Come on, best of three. If they do overturn this decision, then he will have a lifetime ban on tax audits, which means that ban will end the same day we have the biggest party this planet has ever seen.